Ho ho ho, Merry Krampus. Krampus? Don't you mean Christmas? No, I mean Krampus, motherfuckers. Krampus. 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 You never heard of Krampus? Surely everybody has heard of Krampus. Oh, well, let me tell you the story about Krampus then. Because I just found out about Krampus and I think it's fucking hilarious. We all know about old Saint Nick. You know, big fat guy with a beard. He wears a lot of red. He's got a fucking sleigh with a magical flying reindeer, and one of them has an even more magical nose. We all know about old Saint Nick, how he goes around with this big giant sack of toys, bringing joy to all the little kids. And I always compared Santa to it's kind of like Christianity light when you're a kid. It's got all the happy, fun, fluffy stuff like heaven, but there's no hell. So it's only good. There's no bad guy that Santa has to fight or defeat. Or is there? It seems the relationship between Santa and Krampus is quite similar to the one with Jesus and the devil, or God and the devil. I always thought that we had moved a step up because with Santa we had gotten rid of the evil, scary stuff because it was for kids. And although we still scared kids with hell, at least Christmas was, the worst that could possibly happen to you was you get a lump of coal. But no, that's not the whole story. Around, I guess, the 16 or 1700s, which is several hundred years ago for you people who aren't keeping track, around the 1700s, a Christmas cohort started showing up with Santa Claus, and he was known as Krampus the Christmas Devil. And Santa Claus and Krampus were like, buddies in this little setup where Santa would keep track of who's nice, much like God keeps track of all the good people, and then Krampus would keep track of the really bad people, kind of like the devil keeping track of the really bad people. Hey. So Santa has this big bag of toys that he carries around to spread joy and love to the children and happiness and all that, and all that American money-grubbing stuff. Oh, my society makes me sick. But anyway, Santa runs around with this big giant bag, and he's going to deliver presents to all the children of the world in a single night using his special time powers, or whatever the fuck he uses to pull that trick off. And then Krampus goes around with Santa Claus, and he has a big bag too. But guess what his big giant bag has inside of it? No, not lumps of coal. Nope. He carries around a big giant black bag, because when Santa finds kids that are real good, he gives them presents. When Krampus finds kids that are real bad, he stuffs them in his black sack. That's right. Krampus's big sack that he carries around is full of bad little children. And the fucking children get carried away to, I don't know where Krampus lives. Maybe it's the fucking South Pole or whatever. Doesn't Santa live on the North or South Pole? The opposite pole of wherever the fuck Santa's supposed to reside at. And he takes all the naughty children back to his little cave or wherever he lives, and he eats them for Christmas dinner. At least they didn't go to waste. So, let's all be sure to celebrate Krampus, the Christmas Devil, more this year than any other year, because I just think that's fucking hilarious. And it just goes to show that even when you thought that the Santa myth was harmless and innocuous, turns out there's a dark side to it. Just like religion. People look at the religion and they're like, hey, I see charity and I see people doing good things. I don't see anything bad. Well, there is some bad stuff, and it's not always easy to find or clear to see, but when you look close enough, you start to see that there's evil thoughts, there's evil at work under these pleasant. It's kind of like the Noah story where, oh, look, it's all the nice cute little bunnies and all the animals coming onto the ark, and they all look so happy with their cartoon faces, and Noah's just like, come on, animals. And it's a nice happy story, but it's actually not a nice happy story. It's covering up the fact that God's committing, almost genocide on the entire human race. So I mean, even when you thought something as innocuous as the Santa story couldn't possibly have any downfall, not only does it encourage kids to believe shit that's not real for no reason, and to get them into the idea that in fact society could engage in a huge conspiracy against them and manage to cover it up for years. I'm convinced that Santa paves the way for a lot of these dumbass fucking conspiracy theorists, which I'm going to have a video about conspiracy theories coming up pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. But this video is Christmas video, and I want to address an important point on this video. It's not about Krampus, the Christmas devil, anymore. We've moved on. We have now moved into the question of, is it okay? Is it hypocritical for an atheist to celebrate Christmas? I don't know. Is it hypocritical for an atheist to celebrate a giant commercialized holiday that has almost no fucking actual meaning compared to what it was originally intended for? I mean, if you're gonna... Christmas today is about presents and getting together with family and trying to, do nice things for people and being a good, of good human will and blah, blah, blah. And it's the Christmas spirit is what Christmas is about. And I hate that word spirit, but I think it applies for the Christmas spirit. It isn't... The fuck was that? The Christmas spirit is in fact something that I think really exists. You can be in the spirit of Christmas. I mean, if if you're a Grinch, you don't have the Christmas spirit. But there is nothing about today's modern Christmas, almost nothing, that has to do with fucking Jesus. I mean, Jesus just happens to be the latest reason why people are celebrating the 25th, okay? Understand that. People were celebrating the 25th of December before Jesus, and we're probably going to celebrate it after Jesus is a forgotten memory, and they'll be like, hey, guess what else was happening on this day? It was supposed to be the birth of Jesus, and it was supposed to be the birth of Mithras, and the birth of, 6 or 7 other fucking godlike figures around that time in that particular part of the world that these types of stories got spread around in. And if you dig far enough back, it was, Saturnalia, and that was probably borrowed from fucking, other rituals before that. And when you dig down back far enough, it was probably originally just, the festival that prepares people for, the onslaught of winter, and probably a way of trying to appease the gods so that winter's not going to fucking last forever, because holy shit, everything's dying and it's hard to get food, and holy crap, if this lasted longer this time than it did last time, this could be devastating and make our lives hell. So if you dig far enough back, it's probably a celebration of the solstice and people desperately pleading with the gods, let Persephone come back to Earth, for the half the year, or, don't make fucking winter last all year round, because that would really fucking blow. So is it okay for atheists to celebrate Christmas? Abso-fucking-lutely. If it's okay for Christians to celebrate fucking Christmas, I mean, the birth of Christ, most theologians say, probably has nothing to do with the 25th. The 25th was voted on by a goddamn fucking committee, a couple hundred years ago, by a bunch of dudes with, fancy hats. So it doesn't really mean anything to me. What Christmas means to me now is, giving presents to my son and seeing the look on his face when he gets, the one thing that he asked for, or gets something that he never expected that he was going to get, that he's really going to like. That's what Christmas means to me. It means spending time with my family. We know for sure this is the one and only life that we got. Don't you want to spend that time with the people you love? Do you really want to spend that time worrying about, some cosmic God, worrying about if you're celebrating his fucking birthday the right way, especially when that birthday has been co-opted from other festivals before it? I mean, if it's hypocritical for an atheist to celebrate Christmas, then it's also hypocritical for Christians to celebrate Christmas. Okay? If they can steal their holiday from someone else and co-opt it and use it for their own purpose, I don't see any fucking reason why we can't do the same. In fact, I see a whole bunch of reasons why we should do the same. I mean, it's a good idea to, try to refresh people's, giving spirit. Things get lost in the day-to-day shuffle of life. You kind of forget to be charitable. You forget to do all the things that you probably should do. And Christmas is a time to reflect and be like, it's time to think about other people and try to bring joy into the world and try to, enjoy myself and try not to be miserable for a while. That's what Christmas is about. So is it okay for atheists to celebrate Christmas? My answer is, fuck yeah, it's okay for atheists to celebrate Christmas. In fact, celebrating Christmas, it's pretty fun. I'd encourage non-Christians of any flavor to go ahead and celebrate Christmas. Let's take Christmas away from the Christians just like they took it away from someone else. I see no reason for Christmas to remain in the domain of Christians. Ugh. So that's it. That's my big huge rant on Christmas. It is fine for people to celebrate Christmas and not have anything to do with Christ, Let's put the Christ back in Christmas. No, let's just leave it the way it was, because things usually evolve for the better, and we were doing pretty fucking good without Christ in Christmas. So that's it. That's the end of the Christmas video. Enjoy celebrating Krampus this year. I know I'm going to probably go out and buy a little Krampus devil statue. I'll probably have to order it from like fucking Germany or Austria or some shit, because that's where the folklore is, mostly at. And if I get one, I will show you my Krampus, the Christmas devil, and it will go right up next to my Santa Claus, just to remind me that the Santa Claus myth is not Christianity light. It's got a dark side too. It's just that people have left out the dark side because they don't like it. And that's eventually what I think they're going to do with their religion too. They're just going to start to leave out, well, we don't really need the bad guy. Let's just focus on the good guy. And that's what we did for Santa Claus. So, I will see you guys later. And I have no fucking idea what my next video is going to be about. Take it easy.